mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, I don't wanna die, I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, when you do the fun, done go. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from his monstrosity.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Build a wall, no, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go. No, 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 no. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub, as the devil would decide for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stop me and save my life? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into CobraCast 199. And holy hell, today is a crazy day. We are lucky to live in a time where Donald Trump is our president. The greatest president of all time, Donald Trump. The art of the deal has just happened right before our very eyes. And so many of these clowns with TDS couldn't see it because they are always emotionally unstable and they can't function without screaming about Orange Man bad. Meanwhile, the rest of us are sitting back watching this. And what a day it's been. Donald Trump just changed the game one more time. And holy crap. I mean, I am blown away by this. This is good stuff indeed. I was getting ready to record a Nintendo video. That's why I've got my MAGA hoodie on. And all of this happens. And all of a sudden the stock market is through the roof, and all of a sudden everyone is freaking out. I don't even follow the stock market, so I don't even follow this. I mean, I try to keep up with it a little bit, but ultimately I trusted Donald Trump. And this is crazy. So if you're just tuning in, Donald Trump makes a shock announcement and drops all of the tariffs to 10% with the exception of China. And the entire market has completely exploded. Let's watch right here. This happened like less than an hour ago.
You with some tariff updates because news is breaking. The first one I know of is Trump has just said effective immediately the tariffs on China move from 104%. Larry, I think he's trying to make you happy, up to 125%. So let's talk about that. Do we have the other? Okay, we got another one too. I'm just going to keep giving them to you.
Yeah, here's the whole.
And Dagan, I'm going to turn over to you.
No, you go, because there's even bigger news.
He's authorized a 90-day pause on tariffs that applies to reciprocal and the 10% tariff, a 90-day pause effective immediately. Look at the straight shoot up line on your screen. Markets desperate for this news, they got it.
For all countries?
I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also effective immediately.
The power that Trump has is truly insane. The power that this man has. And let's be clear, other people have had this type of power and they didn't have the balls to use it in its full capacity. That's the difference with Donald Trump and everyone else. Other people have been president, other people have been in this position, and they were all controlled puppets. All of them were controlled puppets. Trump is the only person that's willing to use the power to its full extent that he has. And look at what he does. Look at what he does.
You want me to read it, Larry?
Yes, please.
So 125% tariff on China because we crush you. How about that? Those were my words.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting down to no monetary. These countries.
5.5%.
Is the pause for all countries?
At my suggestion, it just says I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%.
Right.
Effective immediately.
These, as I said, these tariffs, by the way, are unsustainable anyway. So this is a reality check, but it's very, very good. How's the market must be doing?
It's on a tear.
Yeah,
so the Dow is up 3.5%. The Nasdaq is up 4.9%. The S&P 500 is up 4%. The Russell 2000 is up 3.6%. The Nasdaq 100 5.3%. VIX falls to 40. Traders pare back all of their bets on Fed rate cuts.
It's the
90-day pause
on 70. The other. Based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called.
Look how overwhelmed they are. Even they're overwhelmed. Even they're like trying to process this information. The power of President Trump. Let the man cook. Let him do what he wants to do. This is why we voted for him. We voted for President Trump. And he ran on these ideas. He ran on this tariff idea. He ran on all of this.
The trade rep, commerce, treasury, and to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to all the trade and trade barriers, non-tariff. These countries have not at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States to those 75 countries.
Oh, fabulous.
That's the way it sounds. I have authorized
He's giving them a 90-day pause.
So,
That's the way it reads.
And then he just ratcheted up China, so you got to imagine China's not on that list.
Right.
So
I would. This is so good because 70 countries coming in, you're going to make deals, but it's going to take time, resources, okay? So he's pausing the whole process in order to make a deal. This is so good. And he's lowering these reciprocal tariff charges, which were way too high to begin with because they were based on trade deficits, made no sense whatsoever. So this is like a home run. This is, if I may, this is common sense Donald Trump.
And the market.
Common sense businessman
serious
Donald
question.
Trump.
The market.
Which is what he's always been. Donald Trump just uses common sense. That's what he's always done. This is not surprising to anybody that has watched this channel for any significant amount of time or that has just been paying attention to Donald Trump. JMNZZ450 says the world yesterday, the market is crashing. It's the end of the republic. Me yesterday. LOL. I'm going to buy a fuck ton of stock. Trump about to do something. Me today, flaming eyes. I am Nostradamus. Let's freaking go, JMNZZ450. To be fair, I have never invested in the stock market. I'm very much like, I'm not someone that follows this, but I did throw a few bucks onto Tesla, Amazon, and JP Morgan. I just threw a few bucks out there to see. And I'm up $57. So, you know, I'm not versed enough in this to understand it. So I'm just playing it very safe just to see if something happens. So Tesla, Amazon, and JP Morgan. That's who I invested in. So it's the first time I've ever done it. And it was earlier this morning. So I don't know if I have no idea if I'm going to lose my ass. I don't know. So, but we'll see. It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. But this is where you would be if you didn't have TDS. If you would have paid attention, Donald Trump told you this morning. He literally tweeted it out. It's a good time to buy. It's what he said. He literally said it.
Market rallied on this rumor, mistakenly reported on Monday, the same way it's rallying now. Yes. But on Sunday night, traders were telling me that that's what the market wanted. This was. You couldn't have given them a bigger gift.
This is phenomenal.
I have a serious question,
phenomenal.
Larry.
This is off the charts good. This is the most brilliant thing. He's such a realist. He's got, if I was in the Oval 100 times over 3 years, every time I was in, he'd ask me, what's the market doing?
Yeah.
The market said, no, you got them too much, too soon, too fast, etc. So he listened. And he's getting advice from a lot of people, not going to name any names, about how to...
Well, this is the thing, though, is like, why... Once you realize who Donald Trump is and what he's about, it will make your life so much easier. Do I think Donald Trump is incapable of making mistakes? Of course not. I think that's ridiculous. And when I talk to people that ask me those questions, when you are another person and you're like one-on-one talking to me and your first question is, do you just think Trump can do no wrong? I immediately lose respect for you because you clearly don't operate within reality. You clearly don't. Why the fuck is Beardo calling me? Why is Beardo calling me while I'm live?
You're live?
Yes, I'm fucking live.
Of course you're live, and you're probably going to be live when I do Bro Science too.
Probably.
Fuck you.
I'll call you back. Bye.
All right, later.
Anyway, so whenever somebody asks me that question, and it has happened before, I immediately lose interest in the conversation because you're not a serious person. You're not a serious person at all. If you followed Donald Trump for any significant amount of time, he's not always right. He's just not. Sometimes he's wrong, and he adjusts when he's wrong. And it's that simple. But this was something he ran on. This was a huge, huge part of his campaign, his reelection campaign. And he's been talking like this for decades. So I was not worried at all. Now, again, just to be clear, there's still a lot of turbulence that could happen. So just because it's just like when everybody reacted to the market crashing and everybody freaked out and lost their minds, then yesterday it went back up and everybody freaked out and lost their minds again. And then it crashed again and everybody freaked out and lost their minds. And now everybody's freaking out and losing their mind again. These things are part of the process. This is a long-term situation that Trump is playing right now.
Play this card, and he's got Bessent in charge of deals, and it'll all take. This is just wonderful. This is Trump at his best.
So 90-day pause, and then the reciprocal tariffs go down to 10% for these 75 nations that have not retaliated against the United States. But I wrote this down on my little folder that you said this. This was weeks.
Hang on, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Just in, Goldman Sachs rescinds recession prediction after Trump's tariff pause. All of you clowns. Oh, we're going to have a recession because of Trump. And now here they are rescinding their recession prediction. These people are fucking idiots.
Weeks ago. And I would bet you, and you can tell me I'm crazy, that POTUS and Scott Bessent like to watch the 10-year Treasury and the 10-year rate, the yield.
Yields are holding steady.
I wonder, given what happened with the 10-year yield and the 30-year, the long bond overnight, if that wasn't at least some impetus to, again, this is a door opening. This is a way forward for the United States and our trading partners
He's literally just turned the whole world on China. Now, look, I don't even who is this guy right here? Who is this guy? Never Trumper George Conway starts crying on camera because of Trump. His eyes turn as red as a tomato.
I'm going to get moist-eyed here, Big or whatever it is that these people seem to be. And I went so far, actually, yesterday to Arnold and Porter. That also was very moving because something people want, and I wanted, and us. We're all in this together, rule of law. And some people just don't give a shit, and that makes me angry. Granddaughters of Judge Rifkin, the eloquent.
Dude, these people are absolutely insane, man.
Stand strong.
This is good management
Yes.
of policy. This is good execution of policy. It shows his flexibility. It shows his common sense. He's adapting to the reality, okay? Look, you had stock market vigilantes, you had bond market vigilantes saying with this tariff thing, it's way too big, way too soon, way too far, okay?
Yeah.
He is right. I will back him on the crusade or the policy goal of stopping the unfair trading practices that have existed now for decades.
I want all these I want all of these gender confused Nintendo fans out there that were crying about Donald Trump, because today is the day that the Nintendo Switch was supposed to be up for pre-orders, and of course Nintendo announced that they were going to be canceling that because of the tariffs. Now, because of today, I guarantee you between today or tomorrow, Nintendo is going to announce that the pre-orders are back up. All of you gender-confused fucking freaks, almost said something else, Donald Trump controls your emotions. Donald Trump holds your emotions in the palm of his fucking hand. And at the mere mention of any word, Donald Trump controls your fucking emotions. All of you fucking lunatics that sit there and live and breathe off of the word of the orange man by the minute. He controls your fucking emotions. He has control over your life. All of you.
Is correct. His idea of reciprocity, which should lead to freer trade and lower tariffs over time, is exactly correct. It's just terrific stuff.
Dow's up almost 6%.
Don't lump us all together, dude. What are you talking about? Nintendo fan? I'm a Nintendo fan. I'm talking about the gender-confused freaks out there. The fucking losers. The fucking pronouns and bio weirdos. All the people that were crying, saying Trump's tariffs are the reason that my Nintendo Switch 2 is so expensive. Fucking losers.
He's adjusting, right. I mean,
I'll fucking take over the Nintendo fandom, too. Just like I did the Star Wars fandom. I'll fucking piss them off. They can all cry just like all those Star Wars losers did. I don't give a fuck.
This is so
well,
joyful.
When we have a good problem, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we always talk about halting trading for 15 minutes when you hit a limit down of 7%. I believe that also applies to the upside of 7%. We're not there yet, but you have an S&P up 6.7%.
And what would the...
I thought the first limit up is 7, and then 13, and then 20. I know that to the downside. I think it also applies to the upside. We'll see. The S&P 500 right now is up 7%.
Okay, so
the NASDAQ is up 8.7% on the day.
You're out jockeying my bid to cover.
I know. See?
If you have the upper bounds, for the interventions, that's even better than bid to cover.
There are no circuit breakers on the upside.
On the upside, good.
There are no circuit breakers.
So let her
on the
rip.
downside.
Just let her rip.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so Larry, I'm trying.
And then look at this right here. So Trump posted this 3 hours before the 90-day tariff pause announcement. Now, I don't think I got in there at a good enough time to really get the good eating, but I'm sure a lot of people did. And I wish I would have been a little more on point with that. But he is in control of everything right now.
Trying to interpret what's happening here. This is a huge policy change relative to what we were hearing like 5 days ago.
Not a policy.
Let me finish, okay?
All right.
I got to ask a question.
He did it. I didn't. I'm not the one. Thank
Okay.
Jesus.
So my
The
point
Nasdaq's
is,
up 9%.
Larry, my point is, we've been hinting at this. This to me looks like confirmation of a sea change in terms of who has priority in the White House on advising on the path forward with.
I'm quiet compared to the video sound. Is that the same for everybody else? Is that just one person? I can bump up my sound a little bit if I need to. How's the sound compared to the video? Or I could just bump the video down. You guys let me know in the chat.
Tariffs and taxes and policy, Larry. Am I directionally correct on that?
Yes. I wouldn't, however, and I didn't mean to interrupt, honestly.
It happens all the time.
Look, Jackie told me to pipe down the other
I'm
time.
sorry.
I was fine with it. No, it's okay. You got to
I
whip me in
was
the
kidding.
shade. I love this group, everyone on this table. So look, the policy remains the same. What's changing is the execution of the policy. Okay, that's how I would interpret it.
Okay.
Now, your point about bond.
No, my point, I'm saying Bessent is driving. He's
That's
got
right.
the wheel, and the other guys are in the back seat at best.
Bessent is,
putting it mildly.
One of Bessent's terrific value adds, okay, is his knowledge of markets and market strategies and market developments. Okay, he's the link to the markets, as a good Treasury Secretary should be. Incidentally, we had Steve Mnuchin in Treasury, it was the same thing. I had because of my background, but it's what a good Treasury Secretary should do.
Right.
And he's reporting to Trump. Here's the thing, a news report.
We got breaking news. This picture was taken approximately 10 minutes ago. Looks like our boy Xi Jinping, is that how you say it? Winnie the Pooh. I just call him Winnie the Pooh. It's a lot easier. Is looking at reading The Art of the Deal to try to understand how to deal with Donald Trump. Xi Jinping, whatever his fucking name is. I don't give a shit.
Sunday, over the weekend, Scott Bessent flew down to Florida in order to get on Air Force One and come back to Washington with Trump.
Let me get a couple of these super chats really quick. I appreciate you guys being here. Ors. Hopefully it wasn't too annoying with the name last night. Enjoy yourself. When Beardo has to read this name, it's the greatest thing ever. When Beardo reads it, it's the best. I love it so much. Gabriel Knight says Dow Jones up almost 3K. China at possible risk of default, and 70 nations want to bargain. Trump's got the world by the balls. 100% he does. And he's turned them all on China. He is basically, what Trump has done is he's essentially done, like, it would be the equivalent of, like, on social media. You could basically, leftists do this a lot, but it's social media. So it's not the same thing, but in theory, it's the same thing where leftists will block all of your supporters and then leave you unblocked. So when you're in their replies, you get absolutely annihilated and it shows that you have no support. That's kind of what they like to do. Trump has essentially done that to China on the world stage. He's isolated China. He's used their own arrogance and defiance against them, and he has taken the entire fucking world and he has tariffed the fuck out of everybody, made them come to the bargaining table, and then once they came to the bargaining table, he says, okay, you guys are willing to have a conversation? I'm going to suspend all the tariffs, or put all tariffs down at 10% for 90 days. We can discuss the details and work this out. Meanwhile, China, you want to continue to retaliate against my retaliation? You're going up another 20% or whatever it was. And now the entire world is looking at it going, well, we want to work with the United States of America. China's been ripping every fucking body off for God knows how long. The whole world now is turned against China, and they're all wanting to work with President Trump. Jason JJJ says, breaking Patel out as ATF director. Where is that coming from? I mean, I know that there's like the Hodge twins and all that have been negative on him, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything in reference to that. So, is that like something I'm missing? There's a lot of news going on, but I don't think that's the case at all. American Patriot says, daytime CobraCast, let's effing go. Hail the 199 and the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump. Hell yeah. Spirian for a 199, thank you. Veteran Biker says, great show, Panhandle of Florida here. What's up, man? Represent. We need to do a joint stream sometime. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Zinny Biscuit says, green chat for green stocks. Let's go, boys. Magna Norris says, God damn it, Jeremy, I missed my opportunity to buy stocks. Well, you can buy CobraCast stock by sending some super chats. There you go. Let me see here. Jimmy Ray says, where's all the people crying about how Trump doesn't have the power to do this without Congress? Exactly. Udite says, let's effing go. Saw the title. Tuned in for a BR break. Back to it. Right on, brother. John Jones says, I am so glad I bought stonks on a whim this morning. Hail the 199. Let's see, Jonas, what's up, Jonas? Can you even imagine Valiant Renegade's office mood right now? I bet he's going crazy. JRG Projects for 20 says, I'm perfectly fine lowering all tariffs on countries not China. Quite frankly, it would have been 444% tariff in Chinese culture. The number 4 is hated. Specific reasons are unknown, but it would get the attention. I'm sure Trump has that in the works. I don't doubt it at all. The art of the deal. CJ says, my stock portfolio went up big time today thanks to the greatest president of our lifetime, MAGA. Imagine being someone that is so gone with your hatred of Trump that you've missed out at these opportunities right here. You know what I mean? It's really sad that you have what otherwise could be normal, level-headed people that are just so blinded by their hatred of Trump that they can't even function on a day-to-day basis. I really don't know what that's like. It is a strange dynamic. Andrew for 999 says, gotta say I love Trump, but I absolutely hate everything he's doing with crypto, letting criminals get away with crypto scams he helped promote, legalize. Biggest mistake of his presidency. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't pay attention to crypto. And I guess, like, I don't know, man. The word scam gets thrown around a lot. Like, I'm not going to give money to any crypto because I don't understand it. So why did I not get scammed? Well, probably because I'm not stupid enough to give them my money. Like, if you're dumb enough to give some crypto scam your money, then I kind of don't feel sorry for you. Like, I don't feel sorry for you. Like, when I hear that Logan Paul has scammed his fans out of his crypto zoo thing, I'm like, you were dumb enough to give Logan Paul your money for something that he promised? It's Logan Paul. Logan Paul has proven to be a liar and manipulator and a piece of shit. He's a horrible person. If you give the Hawk to a girl your money over a meme coin, am I supposed to feel sorry for you? Because I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't feel sorry for you if you decided to give your money to the Hawk to a girl for a meme coin. I just don't. So I don't know. Like, essentially, people get into crypto because they're trying to get rich. Okay. That's their whole thing, is they are going into it with the idea that I'm going to get rich. And they end up losing their ass on it. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for them from that perspective? I don't. Sorry. I just think individual responsibility has to be a thing. Individual responsibility is at the forefront of everything. And you have to be responsible for your own actions and your own decisions. And I don't feel that I would need to waste my energy because you're stupid. But that's just me. Maybe other people are different. Eric Case says, Jeremy, I'm glad you finally figured out stock market and not where to buy stock cars. Well, who knows if I've figured out the stock market now? I have no idea. I'm up 4% on my investment as of right now. I'm up 4%. Panic at Skywalker, ha ha ha. Philip Butler says the EU fucked up raising tariffs on red states. Raging D Head for 2 says fools always want pity for making obvious stupid mistakes. Yeah, man, I don't understand it, but who cares what I think, right? Let's finish this video real quick.
And they had a conversation about the markets and, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all right? And so what happens subsequently after this plane ride, right? Bessent is put in charge of the deal making, and now this is earth-shaking news. The 90-day pause, is that what it is?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question on that 90-day
This has Bessent written all
pause?
over it. Yes, please.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, some part of me wonders if a 90-day pause, I think it is good. Clearly the market's responding. But if I'm a business leader...
Trump is live right now. Is he talking about this? Let's see here. Looking for it now. Yep.
2025 champions of the 24 Hours of Daytona, Felipe Nasser, Nick Tandy, and Lawrence Ventura. Thank you, sir. This is just a celebration of racing, and it's a celebration of
It's as high as I can make it.
Roger and his great success and his life, and these incredible champions who really do what very few people could do. Mentally, psychologically, it's a big factor here, like it is in all sports, really. But you need a great physical ability. People that do this, they don't realize what great athletes they are. It's just not the car. I had a friend. He's a very successful guy, but he was a driver, and started off. He wanted to be a race car driver. He wanted to be like you. He wanted to be just like Joey Logano. And he had it for business, but he didn't have it for he said, I just couldn't compete with the good drivers. He couldn't do it no matter what he did. And he got lucky. He went into business and made a lot of money. He was very successful. But he said, I couldn't press the accelerator down all the way, and the best drivers could. So there was just a difference. It was really, I never forgot that story. But these are great champions, and it's a great sport. And what you've done in Indianapolis also with the track and everything has been incredible. I mean, it's really incredible. People tell me it's been amazing. I'll have to get there. I'm going to have to get there maybe this year with you. But well, thank you very much. Thank you. We did Daytona. We went around the track in the Beast, what's called the Beast, with the thick windows and the whole thing. And you're not supposed to hear anything, but I heard the fans. They were going crazy outside. So it was a great honor. So I just wanted to welcome them to the White House, a special place, very, very special place. And we love champions, and these are the greatest champions in the world. These are the greatest champions in racing, and it's an honor to have you all. And thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much. I wouldn't ride in that thing if you paid me. How fast will that go?
Over 200 plus. Yeah.
240.
Yeah. Yep.
That's unbelievable. Two-time winner of the Indianapolis 500 consecutively, right?
Yes, sir.
So what the hell are you doing? What do you eat?
A lot of milk. Drinking a lot of milk. Hopefully.
Okay, I'm going to take some. And that one is pure speed and endurance, right?
Correct, sir.
Speed and endurance. Is that car a very different car than, let's say, this one?
Yes.
Very different?
Very different.
Yes.
Very different.
Yeah.
Made for...
Gotta last so many hours.
Right.
And we all share the car, so three drivers.
Totally different engine.
Different engine.
Everything's different.
Everything.
And you'll go, is it 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's a long time. And that car just, there's no let up, it's just constant, right? That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's endurance. Endurance is a big factor in life and success, I can tell you. So you guys have it. Well, thank you very much. Would you like to ask Roger or any of these champions any questions while we're here? Yeah.
You started the morning saying be cool, and then
Be
just a
cool.
few hours later, there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know. They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents. They wouldn't have done it. And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, you know, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also, but somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And, you know, look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. You know, it's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal. And we have many other countries, as you know, many more than 75. And they all want to come, and they want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen. They'll call John, they'll do somebody, they'll go through somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible. A man like Roger Penske, I don't want to get him in trouble with China, so I won't, but he would know that you have to, someday you have to cut the bow and you have to do what you have to do, right, Roger? And that's what I did, and I'm very happy to have done it.
Mr. President,
Was there anyone
the Prime Minister of Greece just told Breitbart's Matt Boyle that he thinks absolutely the European Union and the United States could work out a trade deal that's win-win and, quote, mutually beneficial to both sides. What do you think about the Prime Minister's comments, and do you think a deal could be struck with the European Union?
First of all, I know him, he's a good man, and I appreciate his comments. Yeah, a deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. We don't have it there for fun. They have it for a reason. And people took advantage of our country, and they ripped us off for decades. I've been thinking about this for decades. If you ever saw me on television, I was young like these guys. And those were good old days, I'll tell you, Roger. But I was like these guys, young, and I was talking about it. Nothing changed, and nothing was done about it. Then I did it. In my first term, I did it, and did it well. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China and others. And I started the process, but then we had to fix up from the COVID mess caused by China. We had to fix up from that, and we did a good job of doing it. And when we handed back the reins after a rigged election, and when we handed back the reins, the stock market was higher than it was before COVID coming in. So, you know, we did a great job, but we didn't have time to do the big thing, which we're doing now. And it's, you know, it's like a patient is sick, you have to do surgery. Patient is very, very sick. And Joe Biden handed us over a country that was in very serious trouble, economically and in every other way. They let China run away with things. They let other countries run away with things. And maybe worst of all, in a certain way, is what they did at the border. We had people pouring into our country by the millions. Many of them were murderers and drug lords and thieves and people from prisons from all over the world. And there were people from mental institutions, insane asylums. They were taking their mentally insane and they were dumping them into our country. And I'll tell you, Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are doing a fantastic job in removing them. And now the courts, the Supreme Court just gave us numerous good rulings where we have to be able to get them out. You had other judges trying to take over the system. And think of it, they take over. They want these people coming back. Tren de Aragua from Venezuela, the Venezuela jails that cut off the fingers of a man in Colorado. They cut off his fingers because he called the police looking for help. They said, "Did you call the police?" He said, "Yes, I did." "Put your hand down," and they cut off the fingers. This is what they want to bring these people back now. And I want to thank the president of El Salvador for the job he's done, because that's the way it has to be done. And it's too bad. Yeah, please.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy, whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country's going to be. There'll be nothing like it, and people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before. We have more car manufacturers, Roger, coming into our country now. Speaking of cars. We've never seen anything like it. And they're coming in because of the election, but they're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay 25 or 50 or whatever it may be. They don't want to pay that. They can't pay that. We had 3 cancellations in Mexico, building a plant. They're all coming into the United States. Canada, they're coming in. From China, they're coming in from everywhere. And that's just cars. We have chip makers come. We're the biggest chip maker in the world from Taiwan, coming in, spending $3 billion to build plants, and mostly a big plant. This is a hell of a plant when you spend the kind of money that they're going to go $200 to $300 billion, not million. You know, you'd say million would be the right number. It's not $200 to $300 billion. Think of that, $300 billion. If you look at Apple is going to spend $500 billion building a plant. They wouldn't be doing that if I didn't do this. They'd just keep building them in China. And that's unsustainable. It's not a pleasant thing to do, but I appreciate the question. And, you know, interestingly, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy, they've wanted to do this for years, but they never had a president that had the guts to do it, because it does take guts, believe me.
Was it the bond markets that persuaded you to reverse course?
I was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had. Well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day. We had Liberation Day in America. We're liberated from all of the horrible deals that were made, all of the horrible trade deals that were made. And I was helped by people just like this, senator, congressman, and friends, right? And we had great help in the Senate. Our Republican senators have been amazing. They stood tall. And likewise in the House. And John Thune has done an amazing job. Barrasso has done an amazing job. I can't think of a senator, really. We had tremendous support. We got a bill passed the other day with almost unanimous support in the Senate, and I think we're going to get that in the House too. And I have to tell you that Mike Johnson is a great speaker. He's done a fantastic job. We had a majority of 1, now we have a majority of 7. And you don't realize how big 7 is until you have a majority of 1. 7 sounds like so much. but we're doing well. But Mike Johnson and John Thune have done a really great job.
Mr. President, was there anyone who influenced your decision? Did you speak with anyone? You know, Jamie Dimon? Did you speak with anyone?
Well, I watched Jamie Dimon on Maria Bartiromo's show this morning, and he was very good. He said that actually made the statement to effect that something had to be done with the tariffs and trade. He said that. He said, look, at some point, but he said something has to be done with tariffs and trade. He understood it. He's very smart and very a genius financially. He's done a fantastic job at the bank. And he knows that. Everybody knows that. Anybody that's even a little bit smart knows it. It wasn't sustainable what was happening. Somebody had to pull the trigger. I was willing to pull the trigger. This should have been done long ago. Just like Biden should have stopped the border long ago. I mean, allowed 21 million people plus into our country, many of whom should never have been allowed out of prisons and jails. They came out of prisons and jails from all over the world. And now we're getting them out, bringing them back to their countries. But it's should have never been done. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, would you consider exempting some U.S. companies, maybe some larger companies who have been hit hard in the markets the last few days during this 90 days?
As time goes by, we're going to take a look at it. There are some that have been hard. There are some that, by the nature of the company, get hit a little bit harder, and we'll take a look at that. Yeah.
Will you determine the next time?
Just instinctively, more than anything else. I mean,
that's
you
how he
almost
does
can't
everything.
Take a pencil to paper. It's really more of an instinct, I think, than anything else.
Credibility, like, because you said that these tariffs would go into effect on Monday. You said no pause, and today there is a pause. So, how can people believe your words today?
It's not a question of that. You have to have flexibility. I could say, here's a wall, and I'm going to go through that wall. I'm going to go through it no matter what, and keep going, and you can't go through the wall. Sometimes you have to be able to go under the wall, around the wall, or over the wall. These guys know that better than anybody, right? You got to go around them sometimes. You're not going to go through them. So I consider, I think in financial markets, because they change. Look how much it changed today. We went from, pretty moderate today, but over the last few days it looked pretty glum, to, I guess they say it was the biggest day in financial history. That's a pretty big change. And I think the word would be flexible. You have to be flexible. Like he's asking the question about some companies. Some companies, through no fault of their own, they happen to be in an industry that is more affected by these things than others. You have to be able to show a little flexibility. And I'm able to do that. I'm going to say hello to these champions because they are great champions. I got to say hello to them.
To avoid more escalation.
All right, sorry about that. So when Trump looks at these race car drivers, he's like, sometimes you got to go through the wall, sometimes you got to go around it. What are you talking about, Trump? What are you talking about? That was great, though. We'll see if he takes any more questions really quick before we cut away. I've got some more stuff to talk about too. All right, so we'll keep the feed up there. They're all black screen there. There it is now. So great stuff right there from President Trump. And I found this clip right here. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is Kevin O'Leary talking about China. This is awesome.
104% tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
Stand 400% tariffs? What would that
I
look
want
like?
Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. He'll tell you why. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on Earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on Earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Well,
I'm
hold
not
on a
talking about
second,
tariffs
Kevin.
on
Well,
60
I hear you, but hold on. If we're talking about people, the average consumer, not necessarily the head honchos of businesses all across the globe, can they withstand the pressure of that sort of tax on the goods?
It's short-lived. There will be.
But what's your timeline compared to, you don't know the average American's timeline, what they can actually survive. There's people right now who can't survive.
400% tomorrow morning, cheese on an airplane to Washington to cut a deal.
There it is. Now, I see Jay in the chat. What up, Jay? So we also have this one right here. Breaking, President Trump has ripped the potential TikTok deal off the table for the foreseeable future, per Fox Business. This comes after China decided to fuck around with retaliatory tariffs. Good. The CCP app should burn in hell. So the TikTok deal is off the table right now. Trump is not messing around when it comes to China. He is not messing around at all. He is not mincing his words. Now we've got this right here. President Trump says China wants to make a deal, and they're in the process of figuring it out. So we'll see how that goes right now. But he is putting the pressure on them. It's absolutely awesome to see all of this. Loving this. Loving every single second of this. Let's see. We've got... Where are we at? Yave the PB Man's his first super chat ever. The irony, you are a flamboyant dude that enjoys other dudes and have an Apple iPhone derangement syndrome. You know what I mean? Hilarious. Yeah, I hate Apple. I hate Apple products. I just do. I think they're dog shit. But you're welcome to, if people like them, you're welcome to have your Apple products. I think Apple sucks. I think they're dog shit. I don't know why people use it, but they do. It's popular. People like it. Android for life right here, baby. Android for life. So, but yeah, I definitely have an Apple derangement syndrome because I hate it. Grant Potato says Beardo interfering with CobraCast again. That was Jay when I was muted. Mahoney says I just bought 1 share of CobraCast 199 stock. Games for the Win says I can't believe I'm watching a gay guy. Mac K says my portfolio's up over 5% in 1 day. Thanks, Trump. I'm up 6.2% right now. I'm up 6.2%. Panic of Skyfaller says incentivized negotiations with us, like I said. Accident Seller says, if I had business knowledge, I would buy stocks when Trump said so this morning, but I don't. I'm a total noob about all of this, so I'm fine, I promise. I don't know anything about it either. I just kind of roll the dice. I mean, I knew I was going to put, I knew if I was going to invest, it was going to be Tesla. I knew I would put money into Tesla. And I picked the Amazon just because it's Amazon. And the reason I picked JP Morgan was I just felt like there was a good share price to, jump in at. So, we'll see what happens. Blast Radio says some people that bought a $300 PS5 or a $500 Xbox One, will buy the Switch too. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with it, if they're going to release pre-orders today or not. Lou D says, someone check on Angry Joe. Panic and Skyfaller says libs don't even know what the heck just happened. Trump is actively confusing and demoralizing them so much that they don't even know how to cope. That is accurate. 100% accurate. Vol95 says experts lost a lot of credibility over the last 48 hours. To be fair, they didn't have it, to be fair. Veteran biker with 5 gifted memberships. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see. I always know. What is your name? Pyromorpheus? Is that it? A Chinese company bought the British steel company and is set to close their plants. China is the real Hydra. Their tentacles have grabbed hold of everything in the world. Financed its own downfall. This is what Trump knows, and he's basically it does feel like he's turned the whole world against them now. Let's see. Grand Potato says that you want to change the narrative. I am the narrative. Trump. Somebody said I saw some guy in the comments on Twitter, and they said it feels like Trump is manipulating the market. And someone responded and says, Trump is the market. He is the fucking market. Donald Trump is the market. Whatever Donald Trump does, whatever he says, even rumors around what he might say turns the market. That's how crazy it is. Donald Trump is the market. Eric Sean says, I think Donald J. Trump just fisted China's chairman. NDI says, you do know that the order thing is meant to sound like Beardo gagging on his boyfriends that you know what. I don't know about that. You guys think about that stuff way more than I do. So, Kebs says, art of the deal, baby. Bear in the Woods says, Trump started a game of chicken. He knew he would lose. He was driving a Mack truck towards a Prius. China has to bend the knee now or collapse. And they know it, baby. Jay Ritzy says, I'm chatting on a soup can with a string. Magnum Norris says, these stock experts are saying it go up. Why do we listen to these tardos? Who listens to them? I listen to President Trump and Elon Musk. Joker Mazda says, I'll take $3 in Cobra Coin. I missed out on some stonks and $2 on Kika Coin. JRG Project says, I am not into crypto for investments. I am a tech guy, and I find the coins themselves interesting. I don't sports bet, so Coinbase is my FanDuel. I respect that. But I would just say, generally speaking, like a lot of people seem to think that they're going to get rich off of, crypto or whatever. And maybe you do. I truly don't fully understand the crypto side of things. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. So I can't speak on it. It's a weird dynamic. But at the same time, you're welcome to do what you want with your money, but don't expect me to feel sorry for you because Logan Paul might have scammed you. You have to be a very stupid person to believe Logan Paul is genuine in anything he does. He truly is one of the worst people on the entire internet. Like, Logan Paul is a terrible person. And anybody that doesn't realize that, I can't help him. Red Mage for 50. In addition to the tariff news, Benny Johnson reported this morning that Trump dropped a report about COVID as a bioweapon, which we already knew was made in China. But this just adds to the hate for them and kicking the legs out from under them. 100%. 100%. And all of that is strategic on his part, by the way. You could look at this picture that I'm sharing right now. Like, you could just tell Trump has all the power in this situation. He has all the power. He is not going to let this go. He is going to put so much pressure on them, and he is going to make them regret the day that they ever tried to retaliate against him. It's great to see. Dark Schwartz Rising for 20 says he's manipulating the market. Big tech organizations like BlackRock and the Chinese government manipulate all world markets constantly. Yes, it's only bad when Trump does it, though. This is what we've learned 1,000 times before. It's only bad when Trump does it. June's Melody says, I finally watched Equilibrium, and it was great. Love the brilliant plot about how government slowly took everything beautiful away, just like liberals do. I am so glad you watched Equilibrium. If you have not, people, watch Equilibrium. It's got Christian Bale in it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy to tell more people about Equilibrium. I need to do a review of that on Criticless. It is such a good movie. I'm glad you were able to check it out. It is awesome. Darth Manic for a proper 199. 125%, tariff 4547, Donald Mother effing Trump, MAGA America, God is good. A proper 199. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. We celebrate big time when there's a proper 199. We like to celebrate. All right? Celebrations are good.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
Come on, baby. Come on. I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Beautiful white paint. It's coming down at 10,000 miles an hour. It's coming down at levels of speed that nobody ever even conceived of. Where it's rough, but it's coming, and now it's turned around. It turns around, and it's coming, and it's gonna. I said, oh, because you see at that bottom, this section right here, that sucker's. Oh.
There we go. Thank you, Darth Manic. 125% tariffs on China. And FMJHP for 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. We never finished this, but I wanted to finish this a little bit because it was just entertaining to hear their real response in real time.
I'm now trying to figure out not what I'm doing today, but now what my world looks like 90 days from now. Does that not delay some of the uncertainty, or is this confirmation that we can get deals done in 90 days? You know, was it Jamie Dimon or Scott Bessent was one that says these are 1,000 pages. We need months to get these deals done. If I'm a business leader and I'm trying to figure out if I'm hiring, firing, building or not, spending CapEx or not, what do I now do for the next 90 days?
Well, that's a super good question. I would look at it this way. Business people have to seize opportunities in whatever markets they're operating. So they're going to make a bet. I think some people might bet on a retreat. Other people said, no, wait a second. They're pausing to make deals, to make this much more manageable.
Right.
You know, most people believe that we should fight back on unfair trading practices. It's just that this was too much, okay? Now this is being pared down.
But this got them to the table.
Yes. Well, yes, it did, as a matter of fact. Yes, that's important. Part of Trump's negotiating skills. Bash him.
He's the greatest negotiator on the planet. That's only one element of it. But when you have the greatest negotiator in the world who also has all the cards, it's a given. There's no chance. He has the power of the United States of America in his negotiation. The greatest negotiator with all the power. No way. JL23 says, nah. Who's a better negotiator? You with your fucking retarded screen name? Who's a better fucking negotiator? Are you? Huh? The fuck is your profile picture? Fucking basketball team? Huh? Fuck you gonna do, huh? I highlighted it before they deleted it. I didn't care. Fuck you gonna do, JL23? You weren't talking about Trump? Well, fuck. Damn it! Now I gotta gift memberships. All right, I gotta gift memberships. I made a mistake. All right, gift of memberships about to drop. Fuck. All right, you know what happens when I make a mistake and I call somebody out? I have to drop gift of memberships. That's my punishment. Let's see here. Membership gifting. There we go. And boom. There we go. Oh, man. Let's see here. Did he respond? I don't know if he responded. Hopefully he's cool, though. Hopefully he's cool. Hey, I'm a simple man. I make a mistake, I have to repent to the chat. So there you go. Kevin! With 50 gifted memberships on top of that. Look at that. Look at that. Cobra ships. I like that. I like that. Cobra ships. 50 gifted memberships. The party's just getting started around here. Damn, I always hate when I call somebody out and I'm wrong. I feel bad. Sorry, JL23. There we go. I laughed. I've been rocking. Oh, hell yeah. Look at there. See? You could tell when somebody's been watching me long enough. Okay? You could tell. We're cool, man. Shout out to JL23. That's cool, man. I love when you see people that actually can like talk shit with you, have fun, know how it's not all that serious around here. That's good shit.
Bring them to the table. That's what you do in the real estate business in New York. You kick them in the teeth, and then after this, they're done with the surgery, they come back and you get a better deal. That was a joke, but only partly a joke. So your point, there's a lot of opportunities here for businesses. Look, coming down the pike, we should get today the House.
Somebody said it's their first time here. First time here. Let me just give you a little bit of advice. Keep your expectations very, very, very low, and you might not be disappointed when it's all over. That's what I tell the ladies in life. It's like, hey, ladies, look, if you keep your expectations low, you won't be disappointed. So we're good. All right. All right. Let me read some super chats. Catch up with this chat. Doom says Jimmy streams to afford Switch 2. Learn from Jimmy. Or says we want Jay. Jay can hop in here if he wants. Big MAGA Bulge says MAGA. Joker Masa says, Jeremy, if you were to be a villain character, who would you choose, bruh? Any video game, any comic movie, or any anime? Any villain? I mean, it's just a question of like, if I were to be any villain character. Because, I mean, you have your favorite villains, but does that mean I would want to actually be one of my favorite villains? I mean, because obviously by default I want to be Cobra Commander. Because it's Cobra fucking Commander. I gotta say, it'd be pretty cool to be Darth Vader. It'd be pretty cool. Although, no, Thanos. I would love to be Thanos. Thanos would be awesome. It would be cool to be Thanos, bro. That would be awesome. We need Thanos right now. That's a good question, though. Indy I says, so you're saying he has a Trump card. Oh, Derek, where did it go? It just jumped on me. Piano Dean says, the last time we had China on the ropes like this, a virus leaked in Wuhan. This is true. Darth Gavel says, hey, Jeremy, get Trump on Super Mario Kart with the crew. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's see, says Nintendo and other companies not taking Trump at his word and bracing for tariffs is laughable. It will be interesting. Let's see where we're at here. Jamie says Trump is the true GOAT, taking care of the true people in America. Hail the 199 the fellowship. Hope this helps with your eyebrow implants. Booming Bob says welcome newbie to CobraCast. And if you are expecting high quality and are looking, let's see, if you're expecting high quality and you are looking for a tard from Alabama, that's right. That's right. Jesus with a 199 super sticker. Thank you. Olds Gamer 72 Cutlass for a new membership. Fun with Collecting says, how about that Ubisoft stock? I haven't even looked at Ubisoft stock. I'm up 6.9% on my investment. Oh, nope. Just went up to 7%. 7% so far. Longclaw says, Big Daddy Trump dragging his balls all over China's big old forehead. Praise MAGA King Trump. Or. Fired Up Gaming says, let's effing go. Trump buy made in America. Hell yes. All right, let's see if there's any updates right now. Let me scroll my timeline. Let's see. Yeah, right here. This meme. Trump wants foreign leader to do something. Trump announced tariffs. Left claims tariffs won't work this time. Leader caves and Trump gets what he wants. Every single time. This is what happens. Emotionally unstable people, okay, do not listen to emotionally unstable people. And there's a lot of them out there. I mean, like, look at this right here.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher. Elena, go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. It really is. Like, if you want to talk about a pandemic, Trump derangement syndrome is the true pandemic. It really is. Like right here, Apple's up, Nvidia's up, Amazon up, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, Alphabet up. So, like, they're all up. This is the Trump effect right here. So there you go. Tesla's up 13%, by the way. 13%. Pickle Lips Miguel for 5 gifted memberships over on Rumble. Thank you. Appreciate that. JD Corey says, wait, Jeremy gives memberships for mistakes. How many memberships is his relationship with Big Mike worth? Yikes. No, but seriously, Jeremy needs lots of compliments because he's a humble man. I don't like compliments. Compliments make me uncomfortable. They always have, and they probably always will. That's just how I'm, I don't know, man. Insults are how friends talk to each other. That's how I've always looked at it. Gavin Newsom says Trump caved. Hang on. Where did that one go? It disappeared on me. So Gavin Newsom claims that Trump caved. See, this is the spin. This is the spin right here. Here it is. Trump caved. He will change his mind again. To our international partners, California is stable, reliable partner. We want your business. Shut up. California is not stable. California is not stable at all. Are you kidding me? God, man. I am astonished at how stupid anyone is. Like, honestly, like the same goes for Gavin Newsom. The same logic that if you believe Logan Paul, I don't feel sorry for you. If you believe Gavin Newsom, I don't feel sorry for you. I just don't. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but as I said, I predicted this would happen. Stephen A. Smith is not ruling out running for president. Over the last few weeks, I've had no choice but to get more serious about it. I've been approached by people on Capitol Hill. I've been approached by people who are elected officials in office, whether it's governors or mayors or what have you. People have legitimately, seriously asked me about it. I have no desire to be a politician, but I've decided that I'm no longer going to close the door. I'm going to keep my options open. I'm going to entertain the possibility if it comes in at late 2026, 27, where I look at this country and I think it's an absolute mess and it's a legitimate reason to believe that I indeed have a legitimate shot to win the presidency of the United States. I'm not going to rule it out. I told you this would happen. I told you. And everybody was like, Jeremy, you're an idiot. This clown ain't running. He's 100% going to run. The Democrats don't have anyone. The Democrats have absolutely nobody. So yes, Stephen A. Smith is going to try and this is all strategic. I think he's already decided that he wants to do it. Now he's just playing the manipulation game. Right here. Listen.
Because see, when I think about the Republicans, I think the Republicans are asking us, particularly Trump, trust me. And by the way, he's in a position to do it because he won the popular vote. He won the electoral college vote. He won every swing state. He won both houses of Congress. He's got a majority 6-3 in the Supreme Court. I mean, damn. Americans didn't just give it to him. He took it because he recognized what the left wasn't doing. They were preoccupied with nonsense. You want to ask why Stephen A. Smith felt the need to speak up at the NAB conference? Let me ask y'all this question. We supposed to leave it to Bernie Sanders and AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? We're supposed to leave it with individuals that will tell you that it's perfectly okay to tax 70% of your money? Not that they gave out that number. I'm just speculating because of how socialistic they are in their thinking. We're supposed to say that that's okay? Y'all okay with that? You okay with going to work and making $100 and walking home with 30? You sure about that? Are you cool with it? Just tell me. Because these are the kind of questions that we have to ask ourselves. That is why I spoke up.
This dude.
See, when
I'm just telling everybody, you better not underestimate Stephen A. Smith. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is a very, very intelligent person when it comes to politics, but he is a damn good speaker, and he's good at saying a lot of nothing but sounding like he's telling you everything. He's really good at this. He's been doing it forever. He is this dude doesn't know shit about football. I watch him talk about football, and he doesn't know anything about football, college or NFL. He doesn't know anything about baseball. He knows basketball. That's what he knows. He knows basketball. Bennis says, Jeremy, you're a clown if you think he has any chance of anything. Okay. Then Kamala Harris was the Democratic nominee last time. Kamala Harris was the Democratic nominee. And you're telling me Stephen A. Smith can't be the Democratic nominee? Are you fucking kidding me? Of course he can be. He absolutely can be. Willie freaking Will with 20 get the memberships. Let's go, Willie Will. Kamala was appointed? Yes, she was. That's my point. The Democratic nominee is... When's the last time we had a legitimate Democratic nominee? When's the last time? Obama, I guess, if you want to say Obama. But Hillary Clinton wasn't the legitimate nominee. She was installed because Bernie Sanders was the popular choice. Bernie Sanders was going to win the fucking nomination. And they stole it from him to give it to Hillary Clinton. Big Willie style, Bill Clinton might have been either. Yeah, it might have been Bill Clinton. But the point being is that the Democrats have never been about legitimacy of it's who they want to install into that position. I'm telling you, just keep an eye out for this, because I think he's gonna make a serious run. Because who do they have? Who do they have right now? They have nobody. The Democrats are in trouble. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Bernie Sanders is going to be 147. They don't have anybody. Now, I did see a clip, if I can find it. I got to say, though, maybe this guy should run. Maybe this guy should run right here. He's got some interesting words about China.
2 weeks ago, I created a trade enforcement union to aggressively investigate any unfair trade practices taking place anywhere in the world. And as they ramp up their efforts, our competitors should be on notice. You will not get away with skirting the rules. When we can, we will rally support from our allies. And when it makes sense to act on our own, we will. I just signed a bill to help American companies that are facing unfair foreign competition. These companies employ tens of thousands of Americans in nearly 40 states. Because of subsidies from foreign governments, some of their foreign competitors are selling products at an artificially low price.
Man, you sound a lot like a guy named Donald Trump.
That needs to stop. This morning, we're taking an additional step forward. We're bringing a new trade case against China, and we're being joined by Japan and some of our European allies.
Against China, you say?
This case involves something called rare earth materials, which are used by American manufacturers to make high-tech products like advanced batteries that power everything from hybrid cars to cell phones. We want our companies building those products right here in America. But to do that, American manufacturers need to have access to rare earth materials, which China supplies. Now, if China would simply let the market work on its own, we'd have no objections. But their policies currently are preventing that from happening.
So you mean China has policies that are preventing people to actually get good? What? I swear I heard Democrats say that saying things like this was very dangerous just in the last few days. I heard that Democrats say this is dangerous rhetoric.
And they go against the very rules that China agreed to follow. Being able to manufacture advanced batteries and hybrid cars in America is too important for us to stand by and do nothing. We've got to take control of our energy future, and we can't let that energy industry take root in some other country because they were allowed to break the rules. So our administration will bring this case against China today, and we will keep working every single day to give American workers and American businesses a fair shot in the global economy.
I wonder how that worked out. I'm sure you took care of business, President Obama. I'm sure everything was handled and China, bent the knee, right?
We're going to make sure that this isn't a country that's just known for what we consume. America needs to get back to doing what it's always done best. A country that builds and sells products all over the world that are stamped with the proud words, made in America. That's how we create good middle-class jobs at home, and that's how we're going to create an economy that's built to last.
Very interesting there from Barry. It's amazing how none of that actually played out, though. Long Claw, so I got that one. Vloggy says 1923 had a great ending. It did. I think 1923 had a really good ending. It had an excellent ending that you literally it stays with you for sure. There was a little bit of wokeness in there that just kind of, that stains it a little bit, but like the Dutton family, that dynamic was fantastic. All of that was awesome and brutal, and I wish we could have focused solely on that. If we could have focused solely on the Duttons, because that's all I care about. That's all I care about. Vault 95 says 45 plus 47 equals a proper 199 tariff LFG. Raz Taz says both my parents have Trump and Elon derangement syndrome. It sucks. Oof. Sorry to hear that. Yave says, Jer, have a nice hat to compliment his great aides. Thank you. Brandon the Anime Guy says, the D's stole from H in 08 superdelegates. H stole from Bernie in 16 and 20. K stole from fuck Joe Biden's. Gift to us in 24. The D's can suck it. Stephen A is a clown, but can speak without saying anything. OBOZO. Yeah, I mean, look. Stephen A is a fairly well-spoken individual. He's articulate enough to talk not over people. He knows how to talk to people. He knows how to say the words that connect with people. And that's one thing that no other Democrat truly understands. I'm just telling you, you can book it. Clip it right now. I'm telling you that Stephen A. Smith is going to be a serious contender in the Democratic Party in 2028. Absolutely. Because there's nobody else. There's nobody else in the Democratic Party worth the shit. Too Tired says, it's my birthday, Jeremy. If anyone wants to send me a gift, I will accept maid service gift cards. Help a tired birthday girl out. Well, congratulations. Happy birthday, Too Tired. Happy birthday. I hope it goes well for you. Panic and Skyfaller says, they'll try to weaponize the FTC against Trump Elon, claiming insider trading with no evidence. Mark my words. Is it Kuhaka? New member, thank you. Dill Pickle says, if Kamala can be the Democratic nominee, so can Simple Jeremy, let alone Stephen A. Either one would be a massive upgrade to Auntie Drunken Karen. Aggie Orphan says, hey, Jeremy, what did you use for stock investments? Got me interested, thanks. I made an account on the Robinhood. I'd made an account on there a long time ago. So, yeah, I just downloaded the Robinhood app. JRG Project says, don't underestimate Smith. The Dems laughed at Trump, and look what it cost him, their reputation, party, sanity, and it exposed their flaws. Brandon the Anime Guy says, also trust the boys from the South and from the Intermountain West way more than the coastal fools. Let's see here. Where are we at? Couch Tater says Mitt Romney was the last legitimate Democratic nom. Maybe. The Comics Dad says, I love Trump. I love that Trump showed he is in charge and the stock market is winning because of this. But what about the plan for those of us who don't own stocks and just want normal gas and grocery prices again? Well, I mean, as far as like, you know, that's going to take time. And the whole point is it's not about today or tomorrow. It's about next decade, the next 2 decades, the next 50 years, you know, your kids' future. We got to stop caught up on today and tomorrow. People are so, because of the social media age, everybody has this fucking mindset of like, oh, I have to have an immediate ROI, immediate. It's like, that's the wrong mindset to have. Just like the Nintendo Switch bullshit. Everybody's like, oh, I want my video game. Fuck your video game console. This is serious fucking business right now. Donald Trump is trying to save America and change the world. If the fucking video game system gets delayed because of it, then so be it. Who gives a shit? Nobody's looking forward to it more than me, but cancel that motherfucker if it means we need to get this under control and quit having America ripped off. Cancel that piece of shit. Like, it's a bigger vision in mind that we have to focus on right now. Or you can go back to just Joe Biden ripping you off and endless wars under George W. Bush. I mean, and race wars because of Barack Obama. Like, Trump is trying to change the world, and he's trying to save America in the process and make America prosperous for the rest of our lifetimes and our children's lifetimes. That's what he's trying to do. So, where are we at? Got that one. Valiant Renegade says, my head is spinning from today. That was wild. Hey, I'm now in the stock market now. Valiant, I'm up 7.9% on my investments, my puny little investments. But I'm up 8%. I've hit 8% on my investments now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Calshare says, can we collectively cancel Titanfall 3 too, please? I would hope so. I'm not looking forward to Titanfall 3. I don't expect Titanfall 3 to be good. So we'll see what happens. JD Corey says, are you going to have Krista doing Walmart recon? Big tariffs from China going to hit that store. Everything is made in China in there. Obama stole that race from Hillary. They wanted him, and he may run against The Rock. The Rock is was a legitimate choice. I don't think The Rock is going to do anything now because he's on the board of TKO. I don't think The Rock will run. I just don't think The Rock will run. JD Corey says, Webull is better than Robinhood, more stock options, able to bought stocks are not all that expensive. Plan for future. Yeah, I know Robinhood had a ton of like fucking problems a while back. I remember that whole controversy that happened. Taker says, Switch 2 pre-orders were supposed to go live today. With today's news and the tariffs pause, I bet pre-orders go live within the next few days. I 100% expect that. I 100% expect that. And all right, I'm looking at my notifications right now. So back to the Stephen A thing, though, because The Rock is a legitimate name that you could put out there, but The Rock is now on the board of TKO, which owns UFC and WWE. And Dwayne Johnson, forget The Rock, all right? Because there's two separate versions of The Rock. Is a very, very entertaining and legendary professional wrestler. He's amazing. He's one of the greatest of all time. Dwayne Johnson is a manipulative piece of shit who doesn't have a spine. He doesn't believe in anything. He's a coward. Dwayne Johnson is a liar, a manipulator, and a fucking coward. That's the truth of the matter right there. The Rock, all-time great professional wrestler. And so I don't think that Dwayne Johnson will sacrifice his standing at TKO. He already backed off of his TDS because he got so much backlash because he endorsed Kamala and Joe Biden in 2020. He went all in, and he got absolutely annihilated. Now, my theory on it was, and this is just a theory for me, okay? My theory is that Dwayne Johnson endorsed Biden and Harris. He got a lot of hate, and then someone sent him a picture of Trump with his shirt off, and Dwayne Johnson got very, very jealous. That's my theory. Dwayne Johnson saw Trump, 6'3", 215 pounds, and was like, damn.
I just feel like a young man. I'm so young. I can't believe it. I'm the youngest person. I am a young, vibrant man. I look at Joe. I don't know about him. I don't know.
Macho man, yeah. Are y'all telling me Trump is live again? Let's see if I can find this. Is he live? I'm looking. Let's see here. I don't think he's live right now. He said he's signing executive orders. That had to be an old one. That had to be an old one. I'm looking though to see. I don't see like Right Side or any of them, because he's meeting with all the racers. Let's see, I'm looking. Yeah, I don't think he's live right now. He is live. Legalize adulthood. All right, I'm trying to find it. He's live on, was it Fox News? I'll have to sign into my YouTube, YouTube TV. YouTube TV. Too much to sign into. Well, okay, what does after hours mean on my investments? What does that mean? I don't even know what the fuck that means. It says today and after hours. Can anybody explain that to me? I don't know what that means. I'm up 0.3% on after hours, whatever the fuck that means. So.
He's 7% governor. We have somebody that's done a great job at Department of Agriculture, and Kristi Noem, who perhaps a few of you have heard of. She has done the most unbelievable job as somebody that's watching over our country at the border, and with Tom Homan and your whole staff of tremendous people. So thank you. Who would think that she is like meant for that job, huh? She's meant for it. So I just saw you there both. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Legalize Adulthood. I'll get to all of this here in just a minute. You crazy, crazy lunatics. You guys are insane.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, in the defense space, one persistent issue that we've had in terms of the issue of foreign defense sales, that we're unable to provide weapon systems in a reliable, effective way to key allies of ours, and a key driver of that is inefficiencies and inconsistencies with the process by which we approve foreign military sales. So this executive order is going to direct your Department of Defense, Department of State, other relevant departments and agencies to rework our system of foreign defense sales to ensure that we can provide equipment, creating American jobs and providing obviously revenue to American defense manufacturers, but provide key military equipment to our key allies in a reliable, effective way.
Okay, that's good. All very important. Okay. Because our budget is just about approved, and it's a big budget, and we want to spend the money properly, get the best equipment in the world. We rebuilt our military during my first term, rebuilt it entirely, beautiful. And then some was given away to Afghanistan so stupidly, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country, I think. But it's still, we have to fix it up a little bit, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do
I appreciate the update, guys.
Thank you.
Next up, sir, we have a series of executive orders and a memorandum all relating to deregulation, which has obviously been a major priority of your administration. The first of these is an executive order. The Biden administration launched what you've called a war on showers. They had certain regulations that basically killed the water pressure of showers and other water appliances.
You can say it. Go ahead. What are the appliances?
I mean, it's everything, sir.
Sinks and toilets.
Dishwashers, toilets, sinks. But the shower heads are a
There's
huge
no
deal.
water. You don't get water. It's ridiculous.
So with this executive order, we're effectively going to be reversing that set of regulations to ensure that Americans have choice in the consumer market. If they want a low-flow shower head, they can buy one. If they want a real deal shower head, they should have the ability to get them.
You buy a new house, you pay a lot of money, and the developers, you're not allowed to do anything more. They put restrictors on. They used to have a restrictor where you could take it out, but now they weld it in. And you take a shower or wash your hands, whatever you do, including dishwashers where no water comes out. But you wash your hands, and in my case, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. And I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous. And what you do is you end up washing your hands 5 times longer. So it's the same water. And we're going to open it up so that people can live, and we're going to hopefully have Congress approve it so it's memorialized. We're going to try and get all of these things, including straws, a little thing like straws. We did straws a month ago where the paper straws were melting. They were dissolving. They weren't working well. And we went back to the plastic straws. We're going to get Congress to memorialize just about everything we've done here, because most of it's common sense. But the water is horrible. When you go into anytime you see a new faucet, you know it's going to be a long wash of the hands. And so we're changing. It's a big deal. I did it in the first administration. Biden came in his first week, and he had no idea what he was doing, but somebody told him to do it. And his first week, he put the restrictions on all the bathroom utilities, even in areas that have so much water they don't know what to do with it. You see those areas all the time with the flooding. So we're doing that, and we're going to get all of the things that you've seen. I think we set a record. We're up to almost 200 and 500 amendments. Nobody's ever done that. We're going to get them approved by Congress so they're memorialized. And we look forward to doing that. Very important. And Congress is going to start working on it as soon as we get the big, beautiful deal done. The big, beautiful deal is important. The biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. That's important. Okay.
I gotta get legalized adulthood.
We rate the signatures.
Dave Rubin called.
This is another executive
I got to get it in a minute, legal. I know you don't
regulations.
mind.
There are a lot of regulations on the books that either promote monopoly directly or prevent new market entrants from entering into a given market. The net effect of that is very negative for consumers. So what this executive order is going to do is direct your departments and agencies to work with the FTC, with the Attorney General, with the Department of Justice, to ensure that the regulations we have on the books don't function as anti-competitive barriers to new market
What's up,
entrants.
GJJ?
The net effect of all of that is going to hopefully be market forces that redound to the benefit of consumers and ordinary Americans as opposed to monopolistic businesses.
I said yesterday he was a great, great student at Harvard before it went bad. It's gone really bad. Now they're teaching their students mathematics, basic mathematics. Can you believe it? So what does that mean? They're allowing people in that can't add 2 and 2? What's going on at Harvard?
I went to law school there, sir, and it was pretty liberal when I was there, but it's gone way off the deep end in recent years.
I don't know if you read that. They're teaching them basic mathematics, people that got accepted to Harvard. How come they got accepted if they don't have mathematics? And we're holding back $8 billion. Can we believe? We give Harvard $8 billion. And we're holding back Columbia. We're holding back a lot of the schools because they were woke. And they've hurt a lot of people. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
There are a large number of regulations on the books. These are regulations that are currently in effect that we believe blatantly violate the law, blatantly violate Supreme Court precedent, that otherwise are just blatantly illegal. So what this presidential memorandum does basically just directs the heads of your departments and agencies to follow the law and to cease enforcing regulations that are blatantly illegal or unconstitutional.
It's a big deal. It's really very important that we get these memorialized in Congress. Very important for the long haul, right?
Yes, sir. This is the last of our deregulatory EOs for the day. This is zero-based regulatory budgeting. The idea here is that over time, regulations accumulate on the books and in the Federal Register, and people aren't taking a close, detailed look at what's on the books and clearing them out as times change or as regulations become dated or ineffective. What this executive order is going to require is each of your departments and agencies to scrutinize on a continuing rolling basis all of the regulations they actually have on the books and sunset those that either no longer serve a purpose or the departments and agencies can't identify a specific reason for keeping them active.
Okay. Okay.
ABF on your birthday.
Thank you, sir.
It's Alec Baldwin Finger's
Sir,
birthday.
you've taken action against a number of law firms that have in one way or another been involved in the weaponization of government or actions of lawfare. One of those law firms is Sussman Godfrey, similar to what we've done previously with other law firms. This is an executive order that takes certain measures against Sussman Godfrey to ensure that they can't access government resources, government buildings, scrutinizing certain aspects of their practices as a law firm, given their previous activities.
And we signed with many law firms, the ones that we thought were inappropriate, and they've all agreed to pay $100 million. They went for some pretty big numbers. I guess we have a total. What do we have? What's the total about? What's the total right now, Steve? About, would you say?
Getting close to probably 600-700 million now, I would think. We've multiple at 100 million, some at 125 million. So the numbers are adding up. We're going to be close to $1 billion soon.
One at $40 million, millions of dollars an hour. But they don't admit guilt. Remember that, they don't admit guilt. But, and we have another 5 to go, I think, 5 of them. And this one is we're just starting a process with this one.
Yes, sir.
All right, because there were some very bad things that happened with these law firms.
And this firm is very involved in the election misconduct.
Weren't they all involved in the election misconduct? I think they were all involved.
Yes.
Anyway, so they went from $40 million to $125 million, and most of them are at about $100 million. Right? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next presidential memorandum we have for you relates to Miles Taylor. You may recall that Miles Taylor served in the Department of Homeland Security during your previous administration. In his capacity with the Department of Homeland Security, he leaked classified information. He wrote a book under the pseudonym Anonymous, making outrageous claims both about your administration and about others in it. What this presidential memorandum is going to do, one, it's going to strip any active clearance that he has in light of his past activities involving classified information. It's also going to order the Department of Justice to investigate his activities to see what else might come up in that context, given his egregious behavior during your previous administration.
And I had no idea who this guy was. I had no idea. I saw him on CNN, or one of them, I guess CNN, a lot. He'd be on all the time saying that the president is the president. I had no idea. It's like, in this office you have a lot of young people, and they're here. I'll see him for 2 minutes, and I assume he was in the office, but I barely remember him. It was somebody that went out and wrote a book, and said all sorts of terrible things that were all lies. And it was like he was this gentleman or that gentleman, like I dealt with him all the time. I had no idea who this guy. I said, who the hell is Miles Taylor? And he made a living on going on CNN talking about the president. And I think what he did, he wrote a book, Anonymous, said all sorts of lies, bad things. And I think it's like a traitor. It's like spying. He walks into the office. He's supposed to be sitting here. A lot of people, I'll be here, and there'll be 20 people standing in the room. There'll be oftentimes young people in the office. I assume he was one of them at least. But I didn't know anything about him. And he wrote a book, Anonymous, and I always thought it was terrible. And now we have a chance to find out whether or not it was terrible. But it was a work of fiction. Got a lot of publicity, got himself a nice job with CNN or one of them. And I think we have to do something about it. You can't have that happen. If that happens to other presidents, it wouldn't be sustainable for other presidents. I seem to be able to sustain. But if that happened to other presidents, I mean, it's just unfair. And if it was a Democrat president, I'd say that's a terrible thing. A thing like that can happen. That's a terrible thing. And it's time to find out whether or not somebody can do that. Can they write a book about very confidential meetings? And, because they happen to be one of a lot of people in a room, and they go out and write a book, and worse than that, call it anonymous, like it's a big deal. And everybody's saying, who is it, who is it, who is it? Then it was found out who he was a long time later. And he got a lot of publicity off that one. He's like a promoter. But we're going to find out whether or not somebody's allowed to do that. I think it's a very important case, and I think he's guilty of treason, if you want to know the truth.
Get his ass.
We'll find out.
Get his ass.
And I assume we're recommending this to the Department of Justice.
Yes, sir.
Holding people accountable. That's what it's all about.
Okay, good. Terrible guy.
Similarly, sir, Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. This is it's a similar presidential memorandum to the one you just signed. It addresses his access to government, existing clearances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, a badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed. And maybe, I don't know, never mentioned, but I mentioned it, 42 or 43 people so badly injured, the legs, the arms, blown off, the face. And this is all because of an incompetent group of people that preceded us, and that would have never happened. And this guy Krebs was saying, oh, the election was great, it was great. Well, it's been proven that it was not only not great. When you look at all these lawyers and law firms that are signing, giving us hundreds of millions of dollars, it was proven by so many different ways in so many different forms, from the legislatures not approving to the 51 intelligence agents that worked from all of the different scamming operations. It was a very corrupt election. They used COVID to cheat. And we're going to find out about this guy, too, because this guy's a wise guy. He said, we've been proved this is the most secure election in the history of our country. Now, this was a disaster. And frankly, we should go to paper ballots, same-day voting.
Yes.
Voter ID. And
yes.
One other thing, you should get a little certificate that says you're a citizen of our country. You get a citizen piece of paper that says you're a citizen before you can vote. But you want voter ID and you want paper ballots, and you really want same-day voting. If you don't have same-day voting, they decide to change the air conditioner. Oh, we're fixing the air conditioner. Let's move all these boxes. We'll bring them back in a few days, and then they don't bring back those boxes. We got to have safe elections. We have to have borders. Ideally, we have to have a free press, which we don't have. We don't have a free press. We have a very dishonest press. This is an honor. We're going to find out whether or not he was right. This was a disgraceful election, and this guy sat back saying,
I will
well,
address
I'm a
that.
member,
I will
like
address
he's
it.
a Republican or something. And almost right from the beginning, and he's tried to make the case that this election was a safe election. I think he said this is the safest election we've ever had. And yet, every day you read in the papers about more and more fraud that's discovered. He's the fraud. He's a disgrace. So we'll find out whether or not it was a safe election. And if it wasn't, he's got a big price to pay. And he's a bad guy. Here's another one. I have no idea who he is. Krebs. I have no idea who he is. I'm sure he was in the room at some point, just like you're all in the room, but I have no idea who he was. So thank you very much. Those last two are very important, I think, for the country.
Thank you, sir. And lastly, we just have 3 proclamations. These are the sorts of things that most presidents use an auto pen for. You obviously don't like using the auto pen much, if at all. The first of these is National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day. This is one that you did in each of, I believe, each of the previous the years of your previous administration, recognizes former prisoners of war. More generally, this proclamation is written to acknowledge the great steps you've made both in this administration and your previous administration on behalf of veterans, homeless veterans, others who have suffered in that way, and basically stating that it's a priority of your administration to ensure that veterans and homeless veterans are cared for properly.
Good. And you know what? They ought to find out who was using that auto pen, because whoever that person was, he or she was like the President of the United States, and I'm against auto pens. I think auto pens are not a good thing, especially when you're talking about documents like we're signing today. If he can't sign, then he can't be president. It's pretty simple. Let's see whether or not he could sign. But I think that should be tested. I really think that should be tested. It's another one. And you may think about it, because how can a man that, did he really know that when they gave all false information on the council, I mean, the whole unselect committee of political lunatics, they destroyed all the information. You can't get any information. They went for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, screaming and ranting and raving. Democrats plus 2 worse than Democrats. You had Liz Cheney, and crying Adam Kinzinger, crying Adam. Every time I looked at him, he was crying. The guy was a crier. But you can't do that. You just can't do that. So we're going to find out a lot. I think we're going to find out a lot. These last 3 or 4 have been they've been very, very interesting. We'll see what happens.
Sir.
But I don't think a president should be allowed to use an auto pen when they're signing very, important legislation. I think a president should sign it, not use an auto pen. And we're going to find out whether or not he knew what the hell he was doing. I'm sure at this point he'll say, I signed it. They'll tell him what to say. But to give pardons to people that destroyed all the information. If you destroyed information on a civil case, just a civil case, not a criminal case, a civil case, they put you in jail for that. And they found out that Pelosi was the one that was in charge of the security of the Capitol, and she knew all about it, and she admitted her guilt to her daughter, who was a movie documentary person. I'm sure her daughter's not too happy about that. I'm sure Crazy Nancy's not too happy. But we found out all the things, everything. And we go for the information. Sir, we've destroyed all of that information. If I haven't destroyed it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I guarantee you that. I'd be sitting someplace else. So I think it's something that we should really look at, because that's so important. The whole concept of an auto pen, because whoever's, auto pens are run by somebody. Whoever ran the auto pen was president of the United States. And I would be willing to bet that Biden didn't know Probably didn't know anything about any of it.
Man, that would be crazy
Very dangerous.
if he could
Very
pull this
dangerous.
off. If he could prove this, that will be insane.
So you're going to check that out, right?
Yes, sir.
We're working on it right now, sir.
This is just another proclamation, sir, declaring National Crime Victims' Rights Week. You've obviously made it a major priority of your administration to track down and at times deport criminals who have committed violence on our streets, who have victimized so many people. This is an annual proclamation that hopefully gets Americans to remember that when crimes occur, there are real victims, there are real people who are affected, and there are people who suffer as a result.
Okay, it's very important. Thank you. I just want to add, so we're working very hard with Democrats, the governor, with Matt Hall, with a lot of transportation, Sean, and all of the people trying to keep Selfridge Air Force Base open, strong, thriving, and I think we're going to be successful, Governor. I think we'll be very successful. That we're getting some good feedback from Pete Hegseth and Department of Defense, and they're talking about F-16s, they're talking about F-35s, you know, et cetera. It's a great piece of property, it's a great location, and it's a great state. So I think we're going to come back with a very good answer. We're also working on a certain fish that's taken over a beautiful lake called Michigan, right? And that's a tough one. That's a tough one. It's very. Do you want to just talk about that?
Sure, Mr. President. Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you for caring so much about Michigan. We've been working a long time. We couldn't get Joe Biden to do anything about either one of these issues, particularly Selfridge Air Force Base. It'll be critical to Michigan's economy and our security when you're able to deliver us another mission there. But on the Asian carp, you know, for years, when Obama was there, we could never get anyone to do anything about this invasive species that's going to destroy our Great Lakes. You know how important recreational fishing and so much of that is to our state. Because of your work, we're hopeful that we'll get a solution there and we'll get that barrier built so we can protect our Great Lakes. So thank you, Mr. President.
And they're very powerful fish. I mean, I see them, they jump out of the water, they jump at the fishermen. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And has this gotten into any of the other lakes yet? Because you would think it would be pretty easy because they're all sort of connected.
It's why we're working so hard to make sure that, you know, we work with the Army Corps and erect a barrier so that the Asian carp can't get into Lake Michigan. It'll devastate the ecosystem, the economy, tourism, and it's 20% of the world's fresh waters in the Great Lakes, Mr. President, which is why it's so important that as a nation we protect the pristine waters. Yep.
And, you know, all of a sudden, I assume the lakes are all interconnected, right? Yeah. So at some point they're going to be in the other lakes. And so we're going to work hard on that. I spoke with the Army Corps of Engineers, and they have a method. It's a pretty gruesome method, but it's a method. And I think they know what to do. So we're going to work on that very hard. And thank you, Governor, very much. Sort of a bipartisan thing when you get right down to it. Yep. It's a very expensive thing, actually. It costs a lot. I looked at the numbers. I said, wow. But we have to save Lake Michigan because these fish, they eat everything in the way, including the other fish. They eat everything. Are people endangered by the fish?
I think I mean, they're going to eat all the fish there. We won't be able to fish anymore. And that's a big deal in Lake Michigan. There's a lot of fishing, recreation. Yeah. So it's going to be a problem there. But you're right, it's bipartisan, sir. But you're the one taking action on these issues. We couldn't get Biden to do it on Selfridge. This thing has been delayed for 15 years where we were trying to do it. It started under Obama where we were trying to do it. He wouldn't do anything about it. So we appreciate you paying so much attention to this and taking action.
Well,
sir.
I would. And the governor, in all fairness, called me about it. I had seen it, and she called me, and John James called me. And, we spoke with your office, and it's, you know, I want to put that down. It really is bipartisan. It's great to see it, actually. It's great to see that. And that includes Selfridge, too. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get it done, and we'll all stand there together and cut a ribbon. Okay? Gretchen? Good. That's good. Thank you very much. I'm glad you brought it up, and I'm glad you brought it up, Matt. Appreciate it. And I know you two get along pretty well, right?
Yeah. about 70% of the time.
I think you do. All right, good. We'll have something to celebrate pretty soon. So pretty sure about that. Okay. Thank you, Gretchen, very much. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Mr. President, where does the TikTok deal stand, given what we've seen, the tariffs
Well,
to
it's moving
China?
along, but obviously I would say right now China's not exactly thrilled about signing it. We have a deal with some very good people, some very rich companies that would do a great job with it, but we're going to have to wait to see what's going to happen with China. So,
Mr. President, still on the table?
no, it's on the table very much. I think China's going to want to do it, actually.
Mr. President,
Can you say more of what you believe is the end game with China? Are you waiting for President Xi to blink? How do you think this is all going to be resolved?
Look, for years we've been ripped off and taken advantage of by China and others, in all fairness, but by China, that's the big one. And it's just one of those things. You know, we're making $2 billion a day right now, this country. $2 billion a day with tariffs. And they were making $2 billion a day. We'll be making more. And now when you see what happened today, I don't know if it's still there. You know, I looked an hour ago, but we were up like close to 3,000 points. Nobody's ever seen a day like that. I think that's a record, isn't it, fellas?
Definitely.
Is that a record?
It's a big
Who would have thought we were going to have a record like that after watching? But because the geniuses of the world, they get it. Our country's very strong. We were left a very, very weakened country, both economically, financially, because of all of the tariffs and all of the other companies just raiding us and ripping us off. And also at the border, where 21 million people were allowed to come in. Many of those people were criminals. And but the people that do this for a living, and some of them are very smart and some of them aren't smart at all. But these guys are very smart, and my group is very smart. My whole group is smart. And you've done so amazing on the border. I read the other day that there were 9 people and hundreds of thousands 2 years ago with Biden, and we had 9. We had it down to 9, and they were all let in for medical reasons. They were in bad shape. We let them in for medical reasons, not even for anything else. So you've been amazing. But that's a big thing. I think it's one of the greatest problems that I've never seen anything like it. Open borders, the whole world was emptied out. Prisons from all over the world, from the Congo, in Africa, from Africa to Asia, a lot in South America, but it wasn't just South America. Prisons emptied out, and I said it outside with the drivers before, but El Salvador has been amazing, a job that the president's done. He's coming to see me next week, and we look forward to that, but that's really been amazing. Yes.
Mr. President, the EU also announced increases in tariffs today. Why not treat...
Bad timing for them. That's bad timing.
Why not?
They didn't put them in. No, they threatened them, but they picked a later date, which our expectation is it's going to be later still.
Trump was getting ready to go.
That they held back.
You were watching the market.
If this was the strategy all along to bring them to the table, why did you instruct or advise, or maybe they did it on their own, some of your top aides to say this is not a negotiation, to hold the line, that they were going to hold the line, that you were not going to change your mind?
A lot of times it's not a negotiation until it is, and that happens. And, you know, I said outside that you have to have flexibility to do it right, and that's what we have. We brought everybody to the table. And it may not be a negotiation. It may not last. I mean, you know, things may be asked that I think are not fair to us. Look, we've been ripped off by essentially everybody for 35 years. This is not just a new thing. And Roger Penske just left. He's a great gentleman, great man, actually. And he said no other president would have had the guts to do this. And I believe that's right. They wouldn't have done it. They should have done this a long time ago. A long time ago they should have done it. I started it with China. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs and taxes from China in my first term. And we had the greatest economy. We were up 88% on the stock market. That was the greatest ever in the history of our country. But it had to be done. It's something that had to be done.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, thank you so much. Which countries will be negotiating first? Do you have any criteria? Because, for example, Brazil and the UK, they do not have deficits with the US. They have a surplus. They do not have a surplus. They have deficits with the US. So what is the criteria? And also, would you consider talking or meeting with Xi Jinping?
No, sure. He's a friend of mine. I like him. President Xi, I like him. I respect him. But they haven't treated our country right. Sure, I'd meet with him. On the other countries, we have Japan is here, and South Korea is here, and others are here, and we're trying to see them. It's from what I hear, it's much more than 75. I said 75 plus.
So many.
It's everybody wants to make a deal, actually, and we want to do what's right for our country. We also want to do what's right for the world. The world is important. I mean, it's the world, right? And
the world is
I think we're going to make
important.
a lot of people very happy. And I think investing in the United States of America will be the greatest investment that anybody's ever made.
Mr. President, can we also see the sectoral tariff, so the pharmaceuticals, steel? Is that something you're still considering moving forward?
Yeah, well, I will be, because we want them coming back.
It's the world.
We realized during COVID that we don't make our drugs and our pharmaceuticals in this country. So I realized that. And it was a big realization. We had to go to China to get drugs. We had to go to other places. I won't even mention the names, but we had to go to other places. We don't make it. And that's because we let them leave. And now if they want to come back, we're going to put tariffs on the pharmaceutical companies, and they're going to all want to come back. They're going to come back. I'm not going to pay them any money like Biden with the chip deal. That chip deal was horrible. They give billions and billions of dollars to chip companies. All they have is money. They have so much money. And they give billions of dollars, and they're just going to keep the money. They're not going to spend it. The only thing that's going to bring them back is you say, we have a barrier. You have to pay 50% or 100% or 200%. And if they have to pay that, they're going to say, we're not going to pay that. We're going to build here. And that's what happened. We're the biggest, most prestigious chip company in the world, spending $200 to $300 billion. Think of that, $1 billion to build essentially one massive plant. It'll be one of the largest plants in the world, and we're going to get them very quickly. We're going to get them energy. We're going to get them the electricity they need and the energy that they need, and it'll be approved by Lee Zeldin, a total professional, and it'll be approved very quickly, and they'll get their zoning very quickly. They'll have everything done in a matter of months.
Thank you, sir. You've procured a record amount of private sector investments since your election, $7 trillion. You talked about the importance of all that. Can you talk about how these investments will have a positive impact on families who felt like the previous economy left them behind, and why your executive orders on coal yesterday is so important given the amount of manufacturing that you're ushering back in?
Thank you. And which is correct. We have, I would say, more than $7 trillion now, right, of investment coming in. Apple is coming in for $500 billion alone. We have other companies coming in with massive numbers. We have car companies that are coming in. No, we've never seen anything like it. Maybe in the 1940s or 50s or something, but we've never seen anything like it. They had 3 plants canceled in Mexico. Not that we want to hurt Mexico, but we're for us. And that's what my job is. It's not to take care of other countries, but I want to help other countries as much as I can, but we have to take care of America first, and it's about America first. So we have many, many companies coming in that would have never come in if we didn't win the election and then put the tariffs on. And they're coming in because when they build in the United States, there are no tariffs. You don't have to pay any tariffs. So instead of paying 30, 40, 50% or 25%, but it could go a lot higher in some of the industries. So we have steel mills right now that are raging. The steel industry was gone. If I didn't put the tariffs on steel, because China was dumping massive amounts of steel in my first term, and I put tariffs on it, I saved the steel industry, but now it's going to thrive, maybe like never before. I mean, if you go back to U.S. Steel from 90 years ago, it was incredible. It was the #1 company in the world for a long time. That's why we don't want to see it go to Japan. And we love Japan, but U.S. Steel is a very special company. We don't want it to go to Japan or any other place. So we're working with them, and I don't know if they need any money now. I'll be honest with you, they hit gold. They hit gold because if you look at it, they have such orders for steel now. It's incredible. What's going on in our country is incredible with respect to plants. So we lost 90,000 plants and factories from the beginning of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made in the history of this world, but certainly in the history of trade. There's never been a worse trade deal. We were able to cancel that. We had to get approval from Congress. It was like a disastrous curse because you had to go to Congress to get it terminated. You couldn't just terminate it because it was a bad deal. And you had people in Congress that didn't want to do it because they had other reasons, maybe bad reasons. They're mostly not there anymore, those people. But it's amazing what's happened. I appreciate that question because it's incredible. I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. $7 trillion, and it's much more than that because, these are places that we know. $7 trillion is unheard of. I'd never looked at the Biden numbers, but you could go a whole year and it was peanuts. Everybody was leaving. They weren't coming in, they were leaving, and that means jobs are leaving. And so we're not playing games. We're going to make this country greater than ever before. Thank you for that question.
Mr. President, it seems that China's made some. Oh yeah,
fight over questions.
For the past few days, we've heard from this administration no pause. Was this idea of doing a pause, did that just come about this morning? Can you tell us exactly what came into consideration for you and your advisors?
For a period of time, I wouldn't say this morning. Over the last few days, I've been thinking about it. I've been dealing with Scott, with Howard, with some other people that are very professional. And I think it probably came together early this morning, fairly early this morning. Just wrote it up. We didn't have the use of, we didn't have access to lawyers, or we just wrote it up from our hearts, right? It was written from the heart. And I think it was well written too, but it was written from the heart. It was written as something that I think was very positive for the world and for us. And we don't want to hurt countries that don't need to be hurt. And they all want to negotiate. The only problem is, you can only do so many at one time. We want to do it right. We want to get it right. We want to take care of them, but we have to take care of our country. So, but this was something certainly we've been talking about for a period of time. And we decided to pull the trigger. And we did it today, and we're happy about it. I didn't know it would have that kind of an impact, but it's, I think we have the biggest increase in the history of the stock market. That's pretty good. You're almost, if you keep going, you're going to be back to where it was 4 weeks ago. But it was a sick market 4 weeks ago, because the trade was sick. It was only a question of time. I don't blame the tariffs. I think the tariffs just sort of magnified what was happening. It was sick. Biden allowed these people to get away with murder. Biden allowed China to just take advantage of us. We had like $1 trillion deficit with China, $1 trillion deficit. So that was going to only be a matter of time. I think the tariffs brought it out faster and they magnified the problem. But I think this was a problem that existed far beyond tariffs. This was a systemic problem, and we're going to cure that problem. And maybe to a large extent we have, because we've revealed it, and we've revealed it very strongly. Yes, sir, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. So it seems China's made some serious missteps here in these negotiations, and Secretary Bessent said earlier you may have goaded them into a tough position here. I'm wondering, are you in a way putting together a coalition against China in terms of trade here?
No. Well, China, look, they're very capable.
If he was, he would not tell you he's doing it.
I blame the people sitting right at this desk. Right behind this desk or another desk. You get your choice of 7.
He's not going to tell you his plan.
But I blame the people sitting behind in this chair, behind this desk, for being stupid, incompetent, or not having courage. This should have been done years ago. This should have been done before Obama, in all fairness. Not only Biden, Obama. It should have been done many years ago. This started with the World Trade Organization, which was owned by China. It was owned and paid for by China. They didn't even have to do things. They considered them a nation that was undeveloped. They said they were a developing nation. Well, we're a developing nation too, if you think about it. Look at our inner cities. Look at what's happened. I think we're starting from ground zero there, right? So we're a developing nation too. No, I don't. I know it's a lot of people take heat for saying that, but I blame the people sitting at this desk more than I blame China. If China can get away with what they got away with taking hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars right out of our pocket because our people here were stupid, they were stupid people. Maybe corrupt, I don't know. I don't know how you can be that stupid. How do you get to be president and you're stupid? But they certainly weren't courageous. And they allowed this to happen. And with Japan and with many other countries that took advantage of us. I mean, we had deficits with almost every country. I used to read these things. First term, I'd read them. I'd actually read the agreements. I'd say, how could anybody agree to this stuff? So certainly they were rough, and they were tough, and they were smart. And you can blame them, but I really blame the people that allowed them to do it. Because, you know, if you could read first grade and you could read these agreements, you'd say, these are terrible deals. I actually used to say, who would allow deals like this to be made for our country? And maybe it's people that didn't care. Maybe it's people that weren't courageous. Maybe it's people that were corrupt. I don't know. But I blame those people more than I blame anybody else.
Mr. President, you've been very specific in saying that you would like the EU to purchase U.S. energy. Is there something specific that you would like China to do?
Well, you'll be hearing about that. Yeah, there are a lot of things I'd like China to do.
Are there some examples?
There are a lot of things that I want China to do, and I'll be telling China what that is. Not you, but I'll be telling China.
Mr. President, you said the other day that if they do not agree to a potential nuclear deal, that it would be very dangerous for them. What specifically
Well, they
did you
can't
mean?
have a nuclear weapon.
Did you mean military action, though, if they don't agree?
Oh, if necessary? Absolutely.
And you have
Yeah, I do.
And
You're talking about with Iran?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I
you're saying
do.
it's not
Do you want something
negotiable.
definitive this weekend, or do you see this as the start of a process?
It's a start.
Do you have a timeline?
We have a little time, but we don't have much time
Who is starting the
because we're not going to let them have a nuclear weapon.
Is
Can't
it
let them have a
awkward to
nuclear
be
weapon.
there, Mr. President?
And we're going to let them thrive. I want them to thrive. I want Iran to be great. The only thing they can't have is a nuclear weapon. They understand that. You know, the people are so incredible in Iran, and they're so smart. They're very smart people. But, you know, they're in a rough situation, rough regime. But they understand, and the leaders understand. And I'm not asking for much. I don't, they can't have a nuclear weapon, and I've said that. And I was a little bit surprised because when the election was rigged, I figured they'd get the weapon because with me, they were broke. They were broke. They had no money because of the sanctions. Nobody could buy oil. We did that to Venezuela just recently. And we'll do it to other countries if we have to. I want to see Russia and Ukraine make a deal. They got to make a deal. When schools get blown up and bad things happen, like I'm hearing about, it's no good. I hope we're going to make a deal with Russia and Ukraine. But with Iran, yeah, if it requires military, we're going to have military. Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. He'll be the leader of that. But nobody leads us. We do what we want to do.
When would the talks? Before you might, when would the talks need to conclude before you might do military?
I can't really be specific, but you know, when you start talks, you know if they're going along well or not. And I would say the conclusion would be when I think they're not going along well. So that's just a feeling.
Mr. President, on the subject of U.S. troops stationed in Europe, do you have any plans to reduce the number of U.S. troops in Europe or in other NATO countries?
Well, good. I mean, it depends. We pay for military over in Europe. You know, we don't get reimbursed by much. South Korea too. So it'll be one of the things we discuss. That's unrelated to trade, but I think we'll make it part of it because it makes sense. Be nice to wrap it all up in one package for each country. You know, it's nice and clean, and we have plenty of law firms. These are great law firms that we signed with, the best. And I think part of the way I'll spend some of the money that we're getting from the law firms, you know, in terms of their legal time, will be, if we can do it, I think we can do it, using these great law firms to represent us with regard to the many, many countries that we'll be dealing with. We'll have good lawyers representing us, but we want to have good lawyers, and these are the best, considered the best lawyers in the world, right? I mean, considered the best in the world. I don't know. They just went off a little bit.
Mr. President, two questions. On Iran, do you have an update on who will be participating or conducting these conversations? Will Witkoff be there on Saturday for these direct talks? And on China, some economists are saying that right now is technically embargo on China with 125% tariffs. Are you concerned of escalation beyond the trade war with China?
No, I'm not concerned. I think President Xi is a very smart guy, and I think we'll end up making a very good deal for both. But, you know, we've been treated so badly for so many years. Again, we allowed that to happen. We've been treated so badly for so many years. But no, I don't expect that. I think President Xi is one of the very smart people of the world, and I don't think he'd allow that to happen. And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. Let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have. More powerful than anybody, even, not even close. So nobody's going to do that, but I think that if that's what you're referring to, maybe it's not. But just in terms of basic escalation, which is what you said, no, I think that President Xi is a man who knows exactly what has to be done. He's a very smart man. He loves his country. I know that for a fact. I know him very well. And I think he's going to want to get to a deal. I think that's going to happen. We'll get a phone call at some point, and it'll be off to the races. It'll be a great thing for them. It'll be a great thing for us. It's going to be a great thing for the world and for humanity.
Do you have plans to meet with Putin in Saudi Arabia?
At some point, I will.
At some point.
We'll have to see. I mean, we have to get there right now. You know, we got to get there. In the meantime, they're losing 2,500 on average young people every single week. Think of that. 2,500 people a week. It's not even conceivable. We got to get there fast. Take a couple of more. Yes.
Do you have to increase tariffs on China even more before they come to the table or give you a phone
I
call?
can't imagine it. No, I can't imagine. I don't think I'll have to do it. I don't think we'll have to do it more. We calculated it very carefully. By the way, you know, when you hear 100, a lot of people charge much more than that. Canada charges much more than that to our farmers, our dairy farmers. Many people charge much more than 100 or 125 in this case. But I don't, it's still a significant number. I don't see that again.
On the investigations.
Yeah, Mr. President. So do you think some of your tariff critics would prefer, to see the United States go through turmoil than to actually see it succeed just because they are your policies?
You mean just leave the tariffs the way they are now and just relax, right? Some people have said that. Look, again, we're making, it'll be soon, much more than $2 billion a day. That's not the worst thing that I've ever heard. So yeah, some people say that. But, we look at the other side too. I think as the United States, we have an obligation to look also at the other side. We want what's good for everyone. I mean, it's America first, but we also want to make sure there's a world that can live and live happily and all of that. And so, this is the way I look. No, but there are people that say, look, where we are now, I've been in worse positions in my life than making $2 billion a day plus, right? It's really plus. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Press. Head it out.
Thank you.
Head it out. Or the markets are what really changed your mind when it came to
The markets right now are extremely good. Thank you.
Thank you, Press. Thank you. Head it out.
There we go. So President Donald Trump crushing it. And man, what a day it's been. We've got to get to legalize adulthood with a proper 199. Says Dave Rubin called. I see you're still in the chat, too. I know you're still in the chat. He says, it looks like your transition is coming along nicely. Still need to work on getting enough T injections to get the mustache filled out. He wants to know when you're getting your Sydney Sweeney chopped off. LFG, still MAGA and loving it. And we know what that means, right? We know. All right. So because of legalized adulthood and the delay, because he had a delay, Sydney Sweeney in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so happy you love the first drop of my collection of Frankie's bikinis. We have more dreamy pieces coming our way, so tap to sign up for early access so you can get more information.
That was good. That I didn't mean to have the super chat over it. We got to play it one more time. I didn't have.
I'm so happy you love the first drop of my collection of Frankie's bikinis. We have more dreamy pieces coming our way, so tap to sign up for early access so you can get more information.
I respect her. I respect her. Thank you, Legalize Adulthood, and then also 20 gifted memberships from Legalize Adulthood. Alec Baldwin's finger for 50 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go on his birthday. Metalhead Madman says, I have games going, let's see, I have games going, the PS4 all the way back to the one. Haven't touched some of them. I don't need new stuff. I respect that. I respect that greatly. Absolutely. The Bob the God Mate says the 1923 ending suffered from the mindset amongst millennials and certain boomers that there can't be a happy ending. The whole afterlife scene is a cop-out. Either be tragic or allow for sacrifices to give some happiness. I don't know, man. I mean, we're not getting into specifics. I'm not going to add any spoilers. There's no specifics about 1923. I think that the ending of 1923 is extremely tragic. I guess I would have to talk about it at a later time to get in more specifics, but I thought it was very tragic, but I understand where you're coming from, 100%. Andrew CR says, fish talk with Trumpy Trout. Let's see. Taker says, Switch 2 pre-orders were supposed to go live today, but with today's news of the tariffs, I bet the orders go live within the next few days. I think I got that one earlier, and I agree with you. Darth Gavel says, Stephen A. Smith is overwhelmingly popular Democrat pick for 2028, so the DNC will steal it from Smith and give it to Gavin Newsom. I'm calling it now. You might be right. GJJ, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Bionic Sasquatch, got that one. Let's see. Chris Gonzalez says, Trump did 17D chest with the tariffs and China. Alice McCarthy says, for Meta PC, error code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO. Or 199 Meta PCs. Use promo code 199. Demi Moore's Tapeworm says, we have carp everywhere thanks to President Grant. I thought they would catch on as game fish. They are basically uncolored goldfish. Koi. Clutch City Fan says, I'm here for a few minutes behind. Jeremy laughing always gets me. Hail the 199. Trump is here making these fools look dumb. Absolutely. Blast Radius says, I'm sick of the Democrats and the leftist pessimism on these tariffs against China. It's wrong and anti-American, in my opinion. If Bernie did this in office, Democrats would be cheering him on. Absolutely. Jeremy the Cyborg, what? Whoo! Jeremy the Cyborg gave us some good news yesterday. Jeremy the Cyborg gave us really, really good news. So congratulations to you, and thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. Good Lord. 50 gifted memberships from Jeremy the Cyborg. Wow. Taker says, Jeremy, I heard rumors that your startup Beardo AI will acquire Geeks and Gamers for $33 billion and an all-stock deal. Is this true? It might be. It might be. Chris Gonzalez says, that reporter glazes Trump with them questions. Grant Potato says, written from the heart, a Hallmark movie. JD Corey says, stock market closed, but trading still happening. Yeah, I am. I finished yesterday up 7.8%. And now after hours, I'm up 0.69, 69. No, I'm sorry. I'm actually, I'm up 7. Yeah, okay. So yeah, 7.7% on after hours. So we'll see. I don't understand this. I'm learning as I go. So, but I didn't put a ton of money in there. I didn't have a ton of money put in there, but I put a little bit in there just to see. And I'm up. So we'll see what happens. I'm up. But CobraCast in the books again. We have Mario Kart tonight on the Geeks and Gamers Play channel. I'm thinking about hosting tonight. I'm thinking about hosting. So I don't know yet. It's either me or Beardo's going to be hosting. But I enjoyed hosting last week. So, Mario Kart's happening tonight on the Geeks and Gamers Play channel. I know Beardo's live. I think Ryan's going to go live. So we've got streams throughout the day. Krista is currently at Epic Universe. I actually, right here. Oh, let me refresh. Krista's at Epic Universe, and I just retweeted her tweet. She says, I think I'm the first person to bring a Switch to Super Nintendo World Orlando, so she's very happy right now. She's very excited because she brought a Switch to Super Nintendo World. But she's going to be getting a lot of park hopping coverage for us. I saw one tweet. This is the type of stuff that she's going to be getting for us. Let me show you really quick. See, like, she's there. Look what she's already uploading stuff like this. So she's really excited. Park hopping, getting all that stuff out there. She's going to do a great job. So I'm happy she's over there and she's going to be getting all that for everybody. So a lot of coverage from that perspective. And then this tweet right here, this is what I voted for. As a matter of policy, we do not respond to reporters with pronouns in their bio. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I hear you, Willie Will. No problem, brother. Are you kidding me? This is the greatest thing ever. White House Press Secretary won't respond to reporters with pronouns in email signature. This is the greatest thing ever. So while, you know, you'll see me tweet from time to time about certain stuff, but like, this is what I voted for, and I did, okay? But then you'll see me put stuff up like this right here. This is embarrassing. I did not vote for this, and I stand by that. Now, a lot of people don't know what I'm talking about, I guess, because they're trying to be intentionally dumb. Obviously, I voted for illegal aliens being arrested. I didn't vote for cringy influencers like the Libs of TikTok girl to go on photo ops with Kristi Noem. I think this is the cringiest shit in the world, and this drives me crazy. I can't stand this. I also don't believe Libs of TikTok is truly MAGA anyway. I think she's a fair weather MAGA fan. I think she would have been all in on whoever the nominee was going to be regardless. She's not true MAGA. So I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of these influencers. Sick and tired of them. Just get the job done. We don't need any of that bullshit and nonsense. We just don't need it. So anyway, just wanted to get that clarification right there. India says, what's going on with Kash Patel? Nothing that I know of. Nothing that I'm aware of. So I guess we'll have to see. But thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate all the amazing, the amount of gifted memberships is insane. Super chats are insane. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I swear to God, every like I've been focusing a little bit more on Geeks and Gamers the last couple of weeks, and then I've had some family stuff. I swear, I was worried like I missed like a couple of streams or whatever, and I'm just like, man, are people even gonna watch? Like, that is truly my mindset. I feel like I've let everybody down because I missed a couple of streams and I've been busy with the Geeks and Gamer stuff. And I feel like I've let everybody down, and I'm sorry that I missed a couple of streams. I appreciate you guys being here and still being supportive. You know, I hate letting people down, especially the people that allow me to do this. So anyway, we're going to keep grinding. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow. We have the gaming stream tonight. I'll have uploads for Geeks and Gamers tonight as well. Warburst says, another great show, Jeremy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But you guys have a great evening. Thank you for the support, and we will talk to all of you. Here we go. Raging D-Head says, did you see Adam Schiff wants to investigate Republicans for insider trading due to the tariff pause? I saw that. I saw him crying about that. Let him try. Let him try. Nobody takes that clown seriously, so I don't think anybody's worried about that one at all. So good stuff indeed. India says you already let us down because you're gay. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll talk to all of you later. See you on Mario Kart on Geeks and Gamers Play. Bye, everyone.
It's my time to rule at last. 15 years have I been waiting.
Now I got, am I still here? Let me see. Am I here? There we go. All right. I'm back. Freaking John Murdoch. John freaking Murdoch dropping a 50 as we end it. I saw a few of you say, you know what? If notifications are a problem, I will make a point to, is it better if I go live directly on Twitter or if I just post that I'm live on Twitter? So post a link to YouTube or Rumble. You tell me what's better. I'll listen to the chat. So would it be better if I just go directly live on Twitter or post a link to Twitter? Will that help? Because a few people did miss it. So, or X, post on YouTube instead. Post a link. Yeah, I don't really like going live on Twitter. So if I could post, then I would probably just do that. Okay. No problem, John freaking Murdoch. No problem at all. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you tonight for Mario Kart on Geeks and Gamers Play tonight. Should be a fun stream, and I'm looking forward to it. So you guys have a good night. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. Trevor says, I was ready to come here and talk his shit about how Trump is fucking up, and then this happens. Wish I would have bought stocks last night. Let's go. There we go. Here it is, man. Hey, don't ever doubt the Don. Don't ever doubt the Don. All right, guys, have a good night. Talk to all of you later.